All right, we're back for another scariest scenes in non-horror movies, and this time it's 100% from non-obvious things, man. Like in my previous video, I did Pan's Labyrinth, but everyone does that. However, they talked about the Pale Man, and I talked about the Fawn instead. This time, these choices, crazy pulls, bro, mythological pulls, like pulling a legendary from a Clash Royale chest for the first ever time. Let's get into it. I have no idea why I didn't think of this movie in the other video. My mind was just blanking out. And this comment opened up my memories. It was like, phew. So, The Polar Express is a film I'm very well associated with. As a kid, I only had Disney XD and Toonami/Vortex/Toonzai/Channel 6, Saturday mornings with Dish. That's all we had, bruh. No Nicktoons, no Cartoon Network, nothing. And Disney XD spammed the fuck out of the Polar Express, be it Christmas time or not. It's a fun yet pretty uncanny film regarding the graphics and, the magical hobo in the film. That guy was pretty spooks. So in the film, the boy, that's his name, the boy, enters a room with the conductor and girl filled with the forsaken and abandoned toys. Rusted robot toys, countless hanging puppets. The conductor and girl leave the room, and the boy gets left behind checking out some puppets' boobs and curves. Like, hold on, my boy, chill. And then...
You are just like me, my friend. A Scrooge! Ebony Scrooge. North Pole, Santa Claus, this train. It's all a bunch of humbug. A bout of indigestion. Oh, yeah, I know who you are. You're a doubter! A doubter you don't believe! You're a doubter! You can't believe!
Dude, I could have sworn with all my heart that this scene was darker, longer, and way more scarier. I also thought the Pinocchio's puppet's eyes would follow the boy like this. But turns out, I completely made it up. A vivid memory I have is when SeaWorld's Mission Bay Theater, a theater that had 4D experiences, had a Polar Express. I assume y'all know what 4D experience or movies are like, so y'all can imagine what I'm gonna say. Well, around Christmas time, SeaWorld always showed the Polar Express 4D experience, a 15-minute video filled with turbulent winds, snowflakes, lights. Like, basically, it was like when the Polar Express slides down the ice and it's all like, and then the boy and everyone are like, oh, fuck. Yeah. So, filled with turbulent winds, snowflakes, lights, and for some fucking reason, they included the puppet scene up on the big screen, and holy shit. I asked my sister to confirm if they did include it or not, and if it wasn't something I made up, but she says she remembers it too and that it scared her as well, so I was like, god damn. Dude, that shit was fucking terrifying. Especially how, the other 4D experience at the time was like Sesame Street show with bubbles and a jump scare of the seats in front of me spraying me with water. It'd be like, and I'd be like, oh, shit. I don't know when they specifically closed it, but last time I saw that experience was like over a decade ago. I also found this photo and I was like, yes. I went to SeaWorld last year and the Mission Bay Theater had some like educational boo-boo trash boo-boo videos. So that kind of sucks. It's also crazy I haven't seen that scene in movie or years, but now that I went back to it, the scene isn't crazy at all. Oh, how our imaginations run wild. This is an insane fucking movie, one that I completely forgot about. I have no idea how, even though two scenes traumatized me as a kid, and the other scene I just can't get out of my mind. Almost to the same level as this scene in The Grudge 2. This was nightmare fuel. Holy shit. I also talked about it in a previous video, so check that one out if you haven't. I have no idea why I didn't remember this film when thinking of scary scenes. I was racking my brain, and this one just didn't come out. But now that I remembered it, I had to make another video. What movie is it? 2008's Igor. This movie's such a fascinating film that I had to watch the whole thing again for old time's sake. I know I had this movie on DVD and maybe a game of it on DS, but I just don't remember. The film is about a hunchback named Igor, and well, all hunchbacks are named Igor, and are basically like second-class citizens who must work under mad scientists. Our main titular Igor wants to be a mad scientist and has already created some, creations. The immortal suicidal rabbit Scamper, and this is the scene I remember.
Happy Mother's Day. See? That's what I'm talking about.
And the dumb brain in a jar named Brain, though misspelled Brian. So, the greatest possible creation for an evil scientist is creating life, and no one else has been able to do so successfully. So Igor sets out to do just that. There's a montage of the trio creating a giant Frankenstein's monster-like woman. They finish the creation and electrocute it, but she doesn't come to life. While arguing, the creature disappears, and this scene scarred the fuck out of me.
Oh, yeah, sure, I've read about that. And, Who am I kidding? I can't read!
This scene plays exactly like how I remember. She's above the trio, stares at them, heavily draped in shadows. She roars an ear-piercing yell and runs away. Dude, this fucking scene, oh my god. The sound design of the pipes before her reveal scared the shit out of me. It'd be like, and I was like, no, it's so fun. The creature named Eva is actually like a big sweetheart and like a ray of sunshine in a foggy and dark world. However, her design is still pretty disturbing with the ginormous fucking arm, leg, and thick ass neck in contrast to her skinny arm, skinny leg, and small face. Igor tries to make her evil by making Eva watch horror movies, but she wants to become an actress after changing the channel. So now the whole film is about Igor trying to make Eva evil, while the current top scientist, Schadenfreude, fuck, I already forgot, tries to steal Eva and claim her as his invention, because turns out he's a fraud. Eva's evil bone finally activates sorta near the end of the movie after shoving Schadenfreude, and evil Eva scared me to death because of her roars, dude. This shit was spooky, and her eyes too, goddamn.
We've got...
Eva sings while defeating the other creations while rocking glowing eyes, and that was pretty fucking haunting. I watched it in Spanish, so I don't remember if she sang in English or Spanish, but yeah, still pretty spooky. And this was definitely way scarier than the Puppet Room and the Polar Express. Watch this movie if you haven't. It's not the best, but I'm sure it's something. I'm for sure cheating on this one since everyone knows Coraline, but it's not technically a horror movie, believe it or not. Like with Pan's Labyrinth, I was like, what the fuck? It's a dark fantasy film, and I was like, bruh. I didn't want to pick it since it was obvious and an easy pick. However, it is something that terrified me as a kid. I asked my sister for options, and she agreed with Polar Express and confirmed that Igor scared me. And then she brought up Coraline, and I was like, I don't know. I was thinking 9, but then 9 is a horror movie. And she was talking about Jumanji, but I don't quite remember that movie, so I was like, nah. I searched things up, and they were like the Dumbo pink elephant, and I was like, nah. Finding Nemo, maybe, I'm not sure. I asked my friends, and Antonio brought up Coraline too, so I was like, okay, fuck it. He brought up the other mother transformation scene when she, eats the cocoa beetle and reveals her true form, and that was pretty scary. However, that's not the scene that fucked me up. On the quest to find the ghost children's eyes, Coraline goes to other Spink Enforcible's auditorium, and instead of being, well lit, the lights are dim, and the other dog's wings turn into bat wings, and that was already pretty creepy the way they were like, bleh. A light turns on to reveal a giant candy wrapper on stage, and the music was already off-putting, putting me on edge, but the seemingly tame and clean and white candy, in contrast to the darkness, it was activating my fight or flight, bro. I was like, oh fuck. And then a shadow can be seen inside the candy, and I was like, no, Coraline, Coraline, don't do it. Coraline uses the Adder Stone to confirm an eye is there, and bro, this scene fucked me up. I never watched this movie in theaters, but we had this on DVD and I watched it in my mom's tiny ass room at night. Imagine a tiny pitch black like office cubicle, yeah, and a small ass TV, tiny. Imagine like the size of like the biggest iPad there is. That was basically our TV. I also only watched films in Spanish, and I think the Coraline Spanish dub is pretty incredible, pretty spooky, with other Spink and Forcible calling Caroline a thief, you know, ladrona. I was like, what the fuck? Pretty spooky stuff, bruh. I also knew she would get attacked since I immediately picked up on the fact that it was hands grabbing the eyes. And I was like, oh, fuck. And their designs are pretty spooky. Final, or like mutated pumpkin other father was also pretty scary. And so was other mother's final form. But, you know, I think other Spink and Forcible take the cake. That shit really fucked me up. And, you know, for a long ass time, I thought this was the scariest movie of all time. And now I really love this film. It's pretty sick. One of the best of all time, no cap. But, yeah. This was my other list of scary scenes in non-scary movies. I don't have any off the top of my head anymore except for Spiderwick Chronicles. But, you know, do you have any that I haven't talked about? Let me know. I might make a video of them on them. Fuck. That's about it. See ya.